Today, a huge development and another unfortunate chapter in the Republican blame game. After losing Hispanic votes by 44% in the 2012 election, Republicans said they finally supported immigration reform. For months, House Republicans have sworn up and down that they're committed to passing reform. Today, Speaker John Boehner said, forget all that talk. Immigration reform isn't happening, it's dead. And guess who he blamed?
He's feeding more distrust about whether he's committed to the rule of law. Listen, there's widespread doubt about whether this administration can be trusted to enforce our laws. And it's going to be difficult to move any immigration legislation until that changes.
There's doubt about whether the Obama administration will enforce our laws. That's why they're killing immigration reform. Welcome to the latest GOP talking point on immigration.
The president has got to demonstrate, frankly, the country and the Congress can trust him in implementing the laws. Look what he's done with Obamacare. He has selectively enforced that law.
Here's the issue that all Republicans agree on. We don't trust the president to enforce the law.
There are 11 million undocumented people in this country. The Senate has already passed a reform bill. The president has called for action. Republicans said they wanted to do something. Today, they showed they'd rather insult the president. Joining me now is Congresswoman Sanchez, Democrat from California. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Congresswoman, how can Republicans blame the president for their own failure to get anything done on this issue?
Well, it's a sad but frequent tactic that they use. They are in disarray and can't exhibit leadership on an issue, and so they turn around and they blame the president. And it's their own internal shortcomings, because a majority of the American people support comprehensive immigration reform. A majority of the members of Congress do, and all we're asking the Speaker for is the opportunity to have a vote and a debate, and he won't give us even that.
Now, there are millions of people who need this. I mean, families, children. We're talking about something that is vital to people, millions of people.
It tears at the very fabric of America because it tears families apart. Many families have mixed status, and you know, with deportations, those families just come apart at the seams. There are many benefits that immigrants give to this country. One of them is an economic infusion into this country, and in fact, it's estimated that if we could pass comprehensive immigration reform, it would inject $1.4 trillion into our economy over the next 20 years and reduce our deficit by about $850 billion. So there are economic reasons. There are other reasons as well. These people contribute to their communities. They, you know, coach Little League. They, you know, are involved in their churches, and, you know, they give back. And yet, all of the hard work that they do and all that they contribute to this country falls on deaf ears. And I, quite frankly, find it no excuse for the Speaker not either having the leadership capability or the intestinal fortitude to bring a vote to the floor. You know, I can't find a reason why he would do that on such a morally imperative issue.
Well, let me, since you brought the Speaker up, let me show you my confusion on and theory on what may be going on with the Speaker. A week ago today, Speaker Boehner said it's time to deal with immigration, that it should not be a political football. This is Boehner a week ago today. Listen.
The day after the 2012 election, I said it's time for the Congress and the President to deal with this very important issue. It's been turned into a political football. I think it's unfair. So I think it's time to deal with it.
Now, almost immediately, Congresswoman, partiers from the Tea Partiers warned Boehner to back away from reform. Here's just one example from Roll Call magazine. Quote, I think it should cost him his speakership. Representative Raul Labrador of Idaho said, if Boehner puts an immigration overhaul on the floor. This was a direct threat from one of the Tea Partiers that it should cost him his speakership. So we go from a week ago where he says that it shouldn't be a political football to today, oh, we can't do anything because we don't trust the president will enforce the law. Do you think maybe this is again Boehner blinking when the Tea Party raises their voice?
Well, certainly, and what he has to remember, and what the Tea Party needs to remember, is that they'll ultimately pay at the ballot box because, you know, they're trying to broaden their base, and yet they're not establishing trust within the Hispanic community and other immigrant groups who, you know, not all are eligible to vote, but they have family members that are eligible to vote, and I hope that they pay for it at the ballot box. I hope that they see the overwhelming consensus in this country is to pass immigration reform, and, you know, they want to blame the president, but the blame lays squarely within their caucus. And I just think it's criminal, given that a majority of members of this Congress support comprehensive immigration reform and would pass a bill if we could get it to the floor. But the Speaker seems completely preoccupied with the Tea Party element of his caucus, and what he needs to remember is he's the Speaker of the House of Representatives, not just the Speaker of the Republican caucus. And I think he forgets that.
Congresswoman Linda Sanchez, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you again for having me.